Now is the time, ladies and gentlemen. It is happening. This is the week. We've all been waiting for this moment. Some key departures are nearly there. It is Scott McTominay, Christian Eriksen, and Jadon Sancho all set to depart the club as their advanced talks now are happening between the club and these players as solutions are being found by Dan Ashworth and co. It is a good signal as we also count down to the arrival of Manuel Ugarte. My name is Webb. This is the United of Sport. Welcome aboard. I told you we are in a sell to buy situation. And before we think about bringing in Manuel Ugarte, who should be coming in before the close of this window, we have got to think about who is leaving now. It is clear Scott McTominay is one of those. And by the way, if you watch the game when Scott McTominay came on, his body language alone, Scott's body language showed you that he's in his last days as a Man United player. And indeed, that is so, as he has already accepted for talks to proceed between Man United and Napoli. And we will be seeing sooner rather than later, unless another club comes up. But Scott McTominay is most probably headed to Italy to play under Antonio Conte at Napoli. This is according to the latest. He is okay with this move, and the club is hoping to expedite it and make it happen this week because Scott and Christian Eriksen have got to make way for the big one, Manuel Ugarte, to come in now. Speaking of Christian Eriksen, we know that it was only Anderlecht and Ajax who showed interest in him. It is said there are clubs in Saudi also who are interested in monitoring him and could be wanting to bring him in, but he's got to decide where he wants to go. But what has been accepted between him and all parties involved is that he should be moving on. And Man United will be hoping to make absolute profit because about 4 or 5 million euros is what we would get out of him, Eriksen. But remember, we only got him for free. Really, he has played decently for 2 seasons, so definitely he will come in. Whichever money we get out of him is okay. Top it to what we get from Napoli or whichever club that will finally take Scott McTominay. Maybe between 25 to 30 million. You think it's decent money for us to be able to finance some of the deals we are handling now. For Jadon Sancho, where the trick is, it's also written on, I think it's almost cast on stone, that he will be leaving. PSG are the front runners to take him. He has agreed personal terms with them, and this is the week where we feel it's getting advanced. And even when the super agent George Mendes came to talk to Man United, I remember he was also representing Paris Saint-Germain in that deal for Manuel Ugarte. Jadon Sancho is said to have come up in conversation, so solutions seem to have been figured out between Man United and all these clubs. So this is the week we are going to be expecting to see these key departures, and in the coming days after that, be able to get Manuel Ugarte joined. Remember, Ugarte was dropped from the PSG squad that obliterated Le Havre. That was yesterday in the French League One. So it's definitely happening. It's happening, and the player himself is determined. He's waiting for that message to come that all is good. Move on and go join your beloved Man United. Now, what exactly would Manuel Ugarte? But first of all, what would this mean to Man United? First of all, I think it's clear, guys. It's clear before the new signings we brought, before the changes we made, United's football was struggling. But just a few signings, a few world-class signings, and the squad is hugely improved. I was watching the Arsenal game and Liverpool games today, and honestly, my feeling is that Man United are not so far off these teams. I agree with Eric Ten Hag, and he said it before. He said we are not so far, even from Manchester City. I've not seen Man City play this season. Of course, we'll see them tomorrow against Chelsea. Good test, good way to judge both teams. But I saw Arsenal beat up on Wolverhampton. I saw Liverpool beat up on Ipswich. Teams they should win. They should beat, obviously. But Arsenal, for me, were not as dominant as a team that should be so far ahead and in the chase for a title. There are minutes, about 20 or so minutes in the game, in the second half especially, where Wolves were actually pushing Arsenal to step back and playing in their half. And if Wolves were just more effective, they could have beaten them. And I looked at that. I'm like, no. For United against Fulham, we did not have such moments of lapse. Yes, Fulham had a few moments and where they were trying to get us on the counter, but there was never a moment you felt Fulham were in total control of the game. You felt United was fully in control of the game all throughout the 90 minutes. They created so many chances. I think we created a lot more chances than Arsenal perhaps ever did against Wolves. Liverpool tried to create chances as well. They had a few chances missed by Diogo Dalot and Gravenberch and the likes, but still, I feel in our game we are more dominant and actually we created more clear-cut chances. So all these signs for me show me a team that is ready, that is up there with the very best, that is not so far off the rest. Now, if we clear these players who do not add a lot to the team, and we bring in quality players to spread the depth to be able to compete, because the thing that Arsenal has, the thing that Liverpool has, Man City has, that we lacked is the depth. If we bring in Manuel Ugarte, clearly we know he's going to be starting ahead of Casemiro. Now, if you have Casemiro as part of a player in the rotation, big depth that is already has shown us the levels he can still give us when he's fit in that first game of the season. If you have a player like Amrabat, who could also be coming in, this is all depth. I think Man United will have a proper competitive squad, and even conversations about pushing for top three can make sense, make sense for us. So I think for me, the steps we are in, I think, are good steps. The reality is INEOS have handled this squad with absolute precision. They've got a few setbacks, maybe, but the setbacks for me haven't deterred them from at least making the squad better. I think they have only probably slowed the timelines, because by now probably they would have preferred to have sorted everything, because the season is started. They would have preferred to have everything done before the start of the season. But nonetheless, they have not really dropped off a lot. They have not really lost a lot of time. They have achieved extremely well in this first summer of INEOS. So it's a beautiful state for me. My feeling is that where we are headed is good. If bringing Ugarte in this squad, and trust you me, we are going to have a squad full of world-class players. Because imagine you having Andrew Nana in goal, you've got a back line that has Mazraoui on the right, proper world-class player. He can only get better. Talk of the elite in central defense with Lisandro Martinez. On the left, we are planning to bring in someone. Hamoso is still on, not completely off. They have spoken to him, and a few other options on the left. Bring in a left back who is going to come and give us a proper option on Luke Shaw, and we are there. Then go in the middle, have Manuel Ugarte, have Kobe and Bruno. Then up top, you have Zaxi, you have Hoyland as an option. You've got Ahmad and Ganacho. Guys, I think that is a proper competitive squad that we are building. And imagine they're already looking like they know how Erik Ten Hag wants them to play. So for me, it's just a matter of time that Man United will be up there with the very best. The very best are not so far ahead of us. And for me, I love the fact that the pressure is not really on us, because we are in a rebuilding phase. Of course, as Man United, the pressure will naturally be there. But I don't think the pressure is for us to win the title like it is on Arsenal or Man City. I think for us, the pressure is to play well and be better game after game. So I think with the changes we are expecting to happen in the coming weeks, in the coming days, I think we will be getting there. And trust you me, Man United might be, I don't want to say dark horses, because I mean, we are Man United, we can never be dark horses, but by our recent standards, it's okay. We can take the title of dark horses. We can be the tournament dark horses for once, and shock so many, because if United pushed and competed for the title, even if we finished third or second, I think we would have outdone ourselves considering where we've come from. But listen, this squad is a serious, proper potential world beater. I love it. My name is Webb. Subscribe, like, and share, and I will be back later. Cheers.